Old-fashioned way.
Yeah, the old-fashioned one. Okay. Okay, good morning, everyone. The meeting on Committee on Economic Development will now commence. Madam Clerk, would you read the first item?
Commissioner Palomera.
Here.
Commissioner Baker McCormick. Commissioner Peterson Mayberry. Commissioner Kenlock.
Present.
Commissioner Baydoun.
Here.
Commissioner Wilson.
Present.
Chair Anderson has requested an excuse. You have a quorum present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next order.
B, Chairs and Remarks.
Okay, just want to thank the team, the research team, of course, as customary. Counselor Johnson, your team, the communications team for preparing all of this information for us, which allows us the opportunity to excel in these meetings. So thank you all very much for that. In addition, I would like to say, I would like to wish the best to the mayor of Garden City, who passed recently, the former mayor. That's where Glenn Anderson is today. He's at a funeral this morning, attending the mayor's funeral. So we wish him all the best, and our thoughts and prayers are with obviously the family of the former mayor in Garden City. I'm sorry, Westland. Thank you, Westland. Stand corrected. Thank you very much. Okay, all right. Next order.
C, approval of the June 23rd, 2026 meeting minutes.
Been moved by Commissioner Baydoun, supported by Commissioner Peterson Mayberry. Can I have a vote, please? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. So it's in order. Next order of business.
D, unfinished business. There is none listed. Moving to item 1 under new business, forwarding notice of a public hearing on July 1st, 2026 to consider adoption of a brownfield plan for the former Aquinas High School redevelopment at 15601 North Line Road.
Okay, item number 1, excuse me, is a receiving file. So if there are no objections,
Move to receive and
I would like to receive and file item number 1.
support.
Thank you. Commissioner Kenlock for the move and Baydoun for the support. All right, so it's in order. Next order of business.
Need a
All
vote.
in
Oh,
favor,
I'm sorry.
say
All those
aye.
in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, any abstentions? Incriminations? Thank you. So be it. Okay, next order.
Item 2, requesting commission approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Southgate to develop a baseball diamond to support disabled youth and adults as phase 1 of the Southgate Miracle Project.
Okay, Madam Clerk, can we take item 2 and 3 together? I believe they're connected and or interchangeable. So 2, 3 together, please.
Item 3, requesting commission approval of a 1-year professional services agreement with KAB Enterprises for park improvements to Miracle Baseball Field in the city of Southgate that will support disabled youth and adults.
Okay, is there someone here to speak to item 2 and 3, please? Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Identify yourself for the record, please.
Betsy Palazola, Wayne County Economic Development Department, Community Development Division Director.
Awesome. Thank you. Can you tell us what we have here? It looks like both of them belong to you, right?
That's correct.
And then we have another one coming up that might belong to you as well. So it looks like you're going to be the star of the hour. All right. Well, I can just sit back and relax. It's on you.
All right. So this project at its core is a community development block grant funded project that was proposed to the county for consideration for funding through our annual CDBG RFP process. We thought it was a good project. It seemed eligible. It's basically for an adaptive baseball diamond for a facility for people with disabilities or other abilities. And so basically, the project is to take an existing baseball diamond at the Southgate facilities, which is cool because it's a whole complex. There's multiple diamonds all together. And this would take one that's underused and completely transform it into to be an adaptive one so that people with physical disabilities can play on it. So that involves things like a harder substrate, special bleachers. They have the Miracle League has volunteers that help people run bases or do whatever it happens to be that they need. And so this would be a countywide asset. It's open to the public. It's a little premature to do all this, the programming yet because we haven't broken ground, but there'll be leagues and things like that. And right now there's one other league, or excuse me, Miracle Field, but it's out in Plymouth. So obviously Southgate and Plymouth are not close. And there's one in Southfield as well. So I think this will actually also, provide some opportunities for some league play and things like that, some, invitationals and things like that. So it's a cool project. It's a countywide asset. All that being said, when they proposed the project to us, they had gotten some bid estimates. And after it got approved and some time had elapsed, the construction dollar amount came back way higher than anyone thought it was going to. And because everyone wants this project to happen, the city of Southgate actually found, I'm not sure, maybe general fund dollars, but they found funding to make it happen. And we found a little extra funding to make it happen. So that required an intergovernmental agreement for us to be able to accept the funding, to add it to the contract to get this project done.
Okay, so just a quick question. So you did answer my first question. It was, it's open to the public.
Mhm.
And obviously it's going to be a county asset.
Mhm.
Do you have any indication on the duration that it's going to take to complete this field?
We're hoping to still get it done this construction season. We think, so long as you all are able to approve it and the full board does next week, we think that they'd be able to break ground in August.
Okay, so my final question, you alluded to the fact that you found additional funds
Mhm.
because that's because the cost was over what was originally anticipated,
Correct.
and then you found additional funds. Looks like CDBG additional funds you found there, and then you also found additional funds. Is that out of the general budget?
No, the city of Southgate.
City of Southgate.
The city of Southgate found $300,000 in change.
Wow.
Put forward. Yeah, they're really committed to this happening. So that's why these two items, as you noted, go
Yeah.
together. One is for the construction agreement, and one is for the IGA to
Sure.
accept their funding
Okay.
to be able to make this project whole.
Yeah, it's just kind of confounding to me. How do you find $300,000? Do you trip over it, or do you pull it out your back pocket? I mean, it's just kind of
Sure.
interesting to me. But anyway, thank you. Okay, well, it looks like my commissioners here are prepared to have some discussion here. Angelique Peterson Mayberry, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Question, who's the third bidder?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, can you let us know who the third
Sure.
bidder was? Because only two were identified, but they said that there were three. And then, I don't know, is it permissible for us to consider equalization credits for subs? Because when I look at the turf surfacing sub out of New York, and we have a ton of, let me not say a ton, but we have an ample amount of turf companies in Michigan, let alone our county. There's one in Farmington and Novi, like we have several. So I'm just wondering, and I know we don't dictate who the subs are necessarily, but I was wondering if it's permissible for us to, when we have our parent vendor, that we encourage, especially when we have people that could do the work, that they use a local sub. I mean,
Yeah, so a couple things. So we are definitely able to and do encourage the use of local vendors and subs. However, we are not able to apply equalization credits to federal awards.
okay,
We can strongly encourage it. We can put that language into the bids, but we can't actually give people sort of extra credit for it. And then I will find out for you for sure, but I don't know that turf is typical grass turf. I think it might be that special adaptive turf, which is, it's like a firmer material so that people who maybe don't have the most steady gait
yeah,
might have, if you think about like sort of assistive devices,
okay.
can move on it. So I don't think it's just typical
Okay,
grass.
and that's helpful because if there are two others, one in Plymouth and one in Southfield, I'm curious to know who they used.
Okay, I can find out.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, yes, go ahead, ma'am.
Through the chair to this honorable body, Gagnet Kangura Research Policy Analyst, just to answer Commissioner Peterson Mayberry's question about who the third vendor was, it was Premier Enterprises, but according to the paperwork, they weren't responsive, so they weren't considered to be a responsive bidder.
I saw that one, but those would be only two. That would be KAB and Premier. Was there a third? Because I thought it said that there were three. There were three bids received.
Mary Carr from
Okay,
Fiscal.
Mary,
Through the chair, Mary Carr, Deputy Director of Fiscal. It was Premier Group Associates was one, CAB was the other, and Asphalt Specialists were the ones that were deemed non-responsive.
Asphalt specialist.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
okay, thank you very much. We're gonna go to Baker McCormick, then Commissioner Clemente, and then Commissioner Palomero.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
This sounds like a great undertaking. I didn't know anything about a miracle field, even in, Southfield. So the question I had is, how many residents do you have that or statistically that use these types of fields?
I believe the background rate of persons with disabilities is around 16% in Wayne County.
Okay.
That being said, certainly some of those people are under the age of 6, some of them are over the age of 60. We don't know also if those are cognitive disabilities or mental disabilities or physical disabilities. So it's really not something that the government necessarily tracks with a lot of granularity, but we do know that there's a background level and that this is also a league that sort of allows for inclusivity, right? So there's volunteers that help people. It's also a facility for families. Excuse me. So, families that have one person in them with an ailment or something are also able to have that same experience. So it's
And I guess I was trying to understand what the field looks like, or what's the difference in how it, a baseball field operates for someone with a disability. I know you talked about a hard substrate.
yeah, so like the ground is firmer than just grass would be, so it's not as much of a trip hazard.
Okay.
I think the dugouts look different. I think the bleachers look different. I did not take a field trip to Southfield or to
Right.
Plymouth
That's what I was
for
wondering
this,
what
but
that looked like.
Is it Southgate or Southfield?
there's one in Southfield. This one
Okay.
would go into Southgate.
Okay, I'm looking at Southgate. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think I know that they have like I know that the Miracle Leagues have a pretty decent Facebook presence.
Okay.
So there might be some
Take a
image
look
there. Yeah.
Because I'm just like, okay, for a baseball field where it's 800,000, I just wanted to see, what that looks like for the investment. But I'll take a look online or even try to visit the one in Southfield.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Or Plymouth, right?
Thank you, Commissioner Baker McCormick. Next is Clemente, Chair Clemente, Commissioner. Thank you.
Mr. Chair. Having an education background and being from the downriver area, there is quite a bit of schools that have disability and they have leagues. Special Olympics could use this, Easter Seals. I'm here today, not on the committee, but I'm here today because I am very excited about this. I think even maybe our seniors could use it also. And I like to see that it's in Southgate, really close to downriver area, and that a Lincoln Park person is bidding on it. So I think this will be an asset for our area of the county and the whole county. And I think it'll be utilized quite a bit, but I'm going to take it back to the chair because I think the commissioner from that area probably has something to say.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. Palomero, please, Commissioner Palomero.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
Is this baseball field in the complex of baseball fields near City Hall where there's about 5 or 6 ball fields, plenty of parking? It's a great location on Dix Toledo Road near Eureka. Is it in that complex?
I believe it is, yeah, because there's a bunch of fields all together.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a great location. This is a wonderful idea, and I will be soliciting this chairman and any other chairperson to be the sponsor and maker of this motion and be proud to do so.
Move approval.
All right. Okay. All right. Moved prop.
That's okay. I'll move it at the full board.
Oh,
All right.
Okay.
Committee.
Okay.
We're on the committee.
Okay. Sounds great. Thank you. All right. Any additional questions? Okay, okay, but we taking this all together though. 2 and 3.
Remove both items. Yes, that's what the.
You move both items, Commissioner
Yeah, they-
Kinlock? Okay,
yes,
it's
that's what we're-
been moved by Commissioner Kinlock. Items 2 and 3. Is there any? Okay, thank you. And supported by Commissioner Peterson. Mayberry, let the record show. Was it? Okay, make sure we get it right. Baker McCormick, okay, change the record. Is it? Okay, all right. It's properly moved by Commissioner Kinlock. It's been supported by what?
Commissioners.
What? Okay, Commissioner Palomero?
Sure.
Support. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, supported by Commissioner Palomero. Okay, thank you, Commissioner Palomero. Appreciate it.
The ball, right? Somebody else.
All right,
Who's on first?
any additional discussion?
There's on first.
Okay, so all those in favor signify by aye.
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 Those opposed? Those abstain? Okay, this order stands adopted. Okay, that's 2 and 3, right? I got both of them right. Okay, with 2 and 3. Okay, thank you very much.
Next item.
Next item on the agenda.
Item 4, discussion with Betsy Palazzola.
That's why she's still sitting there. I was wondering why you're still sitting there, but I see your name right here. Okay, I don't know why that guy's sitting next to you, but anyway, I think he's your backup. Moral support. All right, that's awesome. Moral support. All right. Okay, so item number 4, please read into the record.
Discussion with Betsy Palazzola to provide an update on consolidated plan and home RFP projects.
Okay, Division Director Betsy Palazzola, what say you?
Hi, thank you. So I wanted to talk to you all today about these 2 items because they're both big things and they're not ahead of you. They're not before you in TCM yet, right? And so these are the items that every year we end up, well, excuse me, one of them is an item that we frequently end up sort of doing at the last minute just by the actual required process. It takes a lot of time. We don't have much time to do it. We get our award and then we have to do the plan and do all the stuff, and it's very compressed. So we're always trying to get a little bit ahead of schedule and find ways to make sure that you all have more review time in advance of when things make their way through TCM. So the consolidated plan is one of those items. It's a 5-year plan. You guys see the action plans every year, and they stem from the 5-year plan. So this year we're doing the 2026 to 2030 consolidated plan. Embedded within that is the 2026 annual action plan. So I just wanted to bring it all to your attention, give you a high level overview. This was posted on the county's website for public comment. We had our hearing yesterday. I believe that our commission liaisons sent you all the link last week at some point. This is the document. It's about 300 pages. And it's largely a procedural and somewhat dry exercise that brings in a lot of data and census information. It's very formulaic in terms of how HUD wants to see it. It goes into the HUD system and it gets printed out, so it looks a certain way. But the really important part of it is the stakeholder engagement that goes into it. And so we've had dozens and dozens of conversations since this winter with service providers, residents, other jurisdictions, all sorts of people, to understand what it is that they see as being these upcoming trends and these areas of need. And so the idea is that, like I said, this sets the tone for the next 5 years of county spend in our 3 sort of, key federal programs, which is community development block grants, the home program, and the ESG, which is emergency solutions grant for homelessness services. And so the 5 top goals that were established for the next 5 years are, number 1, invest in public facilities and improvements. So that's for example, the Southgate Miracle Diamond Field, right? These are parks, rec centers, senior centers, those sorts of things. The second one is to provide services for LMI populations. So that's persons with low to moderate income. Or people that are presumed to be low and moderate income, such as our seniors. So that's things like the shuttles that get people around, the programming at the senior centers that gets people moving. There's also, there's funding that goes towards fair housing to make sure that people aren't being discriminated against. And there's funding that goes towards victims of domestic violence. Those are some of the areas that we funded in the past. This year, we heard a lot from people that the economic climate is not good. Everyone's feeling it. And there's some emerging needs there that are really coming back to basics, things like food assistance, things like assistance with legal services, which I think is somewhat influenced by, things like immigration and stuff like that. So I think, like I said, it's an opportunity to sort of get these emerging priorities. The third goal was address blighted properties. So we still have areas of decline. We still have neighborhoods that are underinvested in. So this goes towards some demolition activities and assists some of our communities with code enforcement. The fourth one is provide affordable housing opportunities. So this applies to homeowners and renters alike. This applies to our programs to assist seniors with home repairs, towards developing multifamily affordable housing, towards investments in permanent supportive housing, which you'll hear about those last two in a moment. And then supporting homeless outreach prevention and shelters. That's our emergency solutions grant that's helping sort of try to get people off the street and keep them off the street. So those are the top priorities. And then if you look through this, you'll find sort of forecast for spend. And so basically it's based on what do we think we're going to spend next year? And then they sort of just multiply by 5 because we really don't know yet. And a lot of that stuff varies by year. But there's nothing really about this that's different from any other consolidated plan. But I wanted to make sure that you all knew about it, make sure that you all had a chance to go look at the plan, because it's going to come in hot through TCM and we're going to be like, you guys have to apply this, approve this right now, please. Because if we don't get it to HUD by August 16th, we forfeit our CDBG funding. So it's getting loaded into TCM now. The transmittal letter, we're just putting the final touches on, as well as the report from last year. And you guys will be seeing that in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you, Director Palazzolo. Any questions? Okay, sure. Commissioner Clemente?
I didn't look at it yet. That's a big binder, but how is, and this might be a really out there in the weeds question, how is our funding for all of this looked at? Is it, what is it? What's the formula to get all this funding from HUD? Is it about percentage of people, houses? Like what is?
Yeah.
These, it's big. Okay.
It's the formula has multiple factors in it that include all those things. So population, geography. I think there's things around like the cost of goods and services in this area versus other places. There's also a lot around the primary purpose of the community development block grant program is to serve people with low and moderate incomes. And so that's a huge factor. So like Wayne County might get more than Oakland County if we have a lot more low and moderate income people, even if Oakland County had a lot more people. So
this is all on federal numbers, and some cities within Wayne County have their own block grants,
That's
correct? Okay, then okay, very good. I kind of have an understanding. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Clemente. Actually, that's a great question because that was sort of one of my thoughts. The community development block grant, obviously everybody needs resources.
Yes.
And we have 43 communities here in Wayne County, and all of our communities are chopping at the bit. So with that being said, I appreciate your response to Commissioner Clemente, but how are there any more measurables in terms of how we distribute these funds for our communities? Because I know it's not a free for all because everybody again needs resources. So how do we kind of coordinate for the communities that really quote unquote need the funding versus other communities who need it but don't necessarily require it, if you will, because some communities are more affluent than other communities. So how do we make sure this money goes to the folks who actually need the funding, if you will?
Sure. So at the high level, there are 43 communities in Wayne County. Of those, 34 are considered participating jurisdiction.
34?
34 of the 43 through the CDBG program.
Okay.
So communities like Redford Township, Livonia, the city of Detroit, right? They get their own funding through CDBG. So we don't give them any funding. They have their own relationships with HUD. They have their own field officers. And then there's those 34 communities. There's an additional 4 communities through the home program that opted to join in a consortium. So they were eligible for their own allocations, but they banded together with Wayne County so that Wayne County become the responsible entity. So basically, to run your own home program, there's a lot of overhead. There's environmental, there's just the finances and all that stuff. So we have a relationship with Dearborn, Taylor, Livonia, and Lincoln Park for the home program, where we sort of help administer it. They become subrecipients. And then with the ESG program, that is for homelessness services. So that goes directly to Samaritas. It's not very much money. It pays for a smallish portion of their of the family shelter, which is in Westland on Michigan Ave at the old Eloise Asylum site. So that's the high level. But then when you get into the CDBG program, it's sort of a hybrid. So back prior to 2019, I wasn't here then, but I think Wayne County had its own sort of convoluted formula that said of all these 34 communities, everybody gets this amount based on this formula. And it didn't work particularly well for people. So they said, okay, we're going to bring that funding back in-house to have a greater pool of funding so that we can do bigger projects. But we're going to save part of it for public services. And everybody every year gets $20,000.
20,000?
Everyone gets $20,000 for public services. Typically that goes towards senior services or code enforcement. I don't think it's the most efficient use. I think we've been doing it for 6 years, and I think we have maybe had an opportunity to learn from it, but this year is not the year that we're trying to make changes there. But that's one of the areas that, if you remember, I said low, moderate income population. So seniors are presumed benefit. HUD has seen enough evidence that many seniors are on fixed income. And so if you're doing something that's senior specific, they don't worry about whether or not each individual person is a low, moderate household. So that's one of the areas that, like the Grosse Pointes and Harper Woods, who typically aren't going to be, they really don't have very many low, moderate area census tracts in their own communities, if any. But they band together for a local senior shuttle. And so a lot of those little $20,000 portions go towards their little regional network that they created. And then when you come, and that's $680,000 of about $5.5 million every year. And then a lot of the rest of it goes through the RFP projects. So the Southgate Miracle Field. So every spring, community development issues a request for proposals, and all the communities are welcome to submit requests. And again, those look like parks, public facilities, rec center, senior services. We also do a lot of sort of boring stuff like sidewalk improvements, ADA ramps. So again, those either have to go towards people who are definitely limited income, or it can go towards census tracts that are low to moderate income areas. So that's what a lot of people qualify under. If you look at places like Northville or Plymouth, they don't have as many low income census tracts. So a lot of times what they're able to apply for is limited. What we're able to provide to them is limited. And so the whole system sort of it doesn't manage itself, but there's sort of these, at every level, it's an income-based qualification. And so the communities that have fewer low-income areas, they don't have as many facilities to propose for, so they get less funding. That being said, we do sometimes try to work with communities to do bigger projects over time, and that's why you see us coming back over and over again with action plan amendments to add a little more money, a little more money. And then we do programmatically look at, who's sort of gotten a lot of funding in recent years or not. We don't It honestly works out pretty well each year, but sometimes if we say, okay, this community or this community, we can only fund one of them. And we look back the last few years and we say, well, community A actually had a lot of awards. Community B hasn't come in for a while. So we're going to give the money to community B.
Gotcha.
And next year, if community A still has that same issue, they can apply. Again, we also don't limit, people can submit multiple projects. They frequently do, but we just ask that they rank them for us.
Sure.
So they say, we want a dog park and a kids park and a sidewalk repair program. And we're like, wow, dog parks are fun, but they ranked at number 3 and rightfully so. So
Right.
so we fund the sidewalks first, right?
Okay. Well, I never asked that question again. Thank you. Great job. Great answer. And tick, tick, tick. Good job. Very thorough. I feel like I can do this now. Thank you. All right. Appreciate it. Okay. Any more questions on the director's report?
Yeah.
Baker McCormick, Commissioner, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You mentioned homeless services. What does that look like in Wayne County? I know we have, I think it's 2 locations for homeless services, and how much of our programming will these dollars will go towards that, or has that been established? Because it seems like we don't really hear enough about our homeless services. Yeah, and in that population, or
Yes, definitely. So Wayne County as the government itself has a limited reach into homelessness services. Just based on how the state of the world is right now. So we have the Emergency Solutions Grant that's around $500,000 a year.
500,000.
As I mentioned, that goes to the Samaritas Run Family Shelter in Westland. There are other shelters around the county. There's several of them. There are there are night shelters, right, where they sort of it's beds at night. It's a safe place, a safe warm place to sleep. They give you a meal in the morning. They kind of put you out for the day, and then people come back in at night. There's a
that Wayne County runs?
no.
Oh, okay.
The only one that we don't run any shelters.
Okay.
We provide funding directly to one shelter.
One shelter, and that's
In the Westland, right?
Yeah, and then the rest of the homelessness services are run through what's known as the continuum of care.
Yeah.
For Out County,
Mhm.
that's run by Wayne Metropolitan Community Action Agency.
Okay.
For Detroit, Hamtramck, and Highland Park, that's the Detroit COC,
Right.
and that's run by HAND, which is the
And is there a way you could just send us those? Do you have a?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't really
Yeah.
I don't have like a list or
no, it's on the
so-
COC website. So
Oh,
we'll get you the
CLC.
link.
Okay,
Yeah.
just go on their website.
Yeah,
You're saying.
and then
Okay.
they receive their own funding directly from HUD,
Okay,
and they manage that
but
directly.
we only fund Samaritas
Yeah, we have really
Okay.
limited homeless.
and Wayne Metro, right?
We don't give Wayne Metro direct
Any
funding for homelessness.
Homelessness. Okay,
They
great.
get that directly from HUD.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. This is great information you're providing. I appreciate your endurance. So thank you for answering the questions. Thank you. I can tell you do pretty well. Commissioner Clemente?
Yeah, just a couple comments. So Wayne Metro, we did the COPE program with them, so we did do that program with Wayne Metro as Wayne County. And then what was my other thing I was going to say? Well, this is what happens. Didn't make a note. Oh, I know what it was. What I have been paying attention to, because you say like communities do apply for all these grants, and then these guys look at all of that, and if they see that someone's not spending all their money, or other people have these other projects, they do adjust all these throughout the year. So we see that a lot here come to us where it says maybe Westland didn't spend all their money, so they were able to give it to Redford. So those are really important things that you guys are adjusting and doing all the time. Am I correct
Yeah,
about these
definitely.
adjustments
Yeah.
so we are getting our money out everywhere it needs to go. And I think my take on this is have my communities apply, and see what we can do.
Yeah, and
Thank
thank you. And we are also always trying to do better. so that money isn't lingering. And so we've changed the RFP process. We've put more instruction into it to try to get higher quality, more ready projects. We also sometimes have examples where a community applied, it looked like it was going to be an eligible project. Something happens and we have to pull that money. But we say, we'll work with you to find a different eligible project. We'll catch you next spring. And then we reallocate that money. You guys, again, you see these endless action plan amendments.
Okay, thank you, Director. Commissioner Peterson Mayberry, next, please.
Thank you. Through the chair, one question. I know you gave a few other areas that we have prioritized, and so those are not part of this 5 now. So what happens to, and I'm particularly thinking about like victims of domestic violence because that population is increasing. So the others, fair housing, victims of domestic violence, food assistance, immigration, legal services. So is that now all bucketed into one space, or are we steering away from supporting those projects that are linked and directly tied to those?
Yeah, those are considered, those would all fall under the public services bucket. We continue to fund some of those. Some of those we haven't funded before. And so we're gonna be sort of looking at ways to try to catch them at least one of the years of the plan. It doesn't behoove Wayne County to set up a bunch of new programs, particularly if we have limited money. So what that often looks like is finding well-qualified service providers and trying to put them on a subrecipient agreement. But those priorities, we've been funding domestic violence and fair housing for quite some time and we'll continue to do that.
Okay.
And then some of the food assistance, we don't do a lot of that, but we did quite a bit through COVID dollars. But yeah, it becomes just part of our marching orders to try to figure out how to do more of that within our budget.
Okay, so it's good to hear that we'll just partner because the people even needing that assistance, even with food, is growing. It's growing, and it's not the person on the side of the road anymore, it's the person working. And so I just want to make sure, and I know there's programs out there, but if people are out there doing it and doing it well, what we recognize is that people are starting to pull away from supporting those type of programs, which means then they don't provide the services that they've been able to provide to the community in the past. I get we have a limited amount of dollars. I just hope we're being good stewards when we prioritize where it needs to go when we talk about quality of life issues.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Oh, thank you, Commissioner Peterson Mayberry. Okay, anyone else have any questions, concerns, discussion? Okay, great job, Director Palazzolo. Appreciate it. And since this is a discussion, we don't really need a motion or a second. So,
Well, so that was only one of the topics though.
oh, you got something else coming? Oh, Jiminy Crickets. All right, well, go right ahead.
So this one that I really wanted
I
to
think
talk
you
to,
like talking. Go ahead. I like it.
I like you guys knowing what I'm asking you to do because it's less stressful last minute.
Oh.
It's a way to ameliorate the fact that we do a lot of things last minute.
That
So
sounds
give me a
suspect.
warning. That's not what we're doing.
That sounds suspect. I know what comes next. Okay, I think I'm learning this job. I know what's coming next. All right, here we go.
All right. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you all about is our housing RFP. So out in the last fall, we put out a large request for proposals for multifamily affordable housing. So rental housing mostly, although it wasn't super prescriptive. Attached to that opportunity are home dollars and home ARP dollars. So home ARP dollars, you guys haven't heard a lot about. It's another COVID era program. It is not ARPA. It came out under ARPA, but it's just ARP. And so the rules are different.
So I'm sorry, I don't mean to interject here, but what did you call a home what?
Home ARP, ARP.
Home ARP.
Yep.
Okay, that's not the regular ARPA. This is something different.
Right. It's not regular home and it's not regular ARPA.
It's something different. It's a hybrid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
Wow.
So
Okay.
we have funding remaining in both those. The county has struggled to spend some of that money in recent years. And so we have decent surpluses that we are getting that we need to really spend out. So that's what was the purpose and part of that home RFP. In response to that, we got 30 different proposals. Of those proposals, 13 passed threshold.
13.
Of those, 7 were requests for funding for permanent supportive housing and 6 were multifamily affordable housing. So we've been working through those, and we are going to be bringing forth a development agreement very soon for the first one of those projects. We've been working with Commission Council and Corp Council on that agreement. And this is going to be one of those ones where it's unfortunately tied to funding that is expiring. And so we need to get this funding spent. So when it hits your desk, it's going to be urgent. But the whole program is a little bit different as well. So I just wanted to get an opportunity to talk to you guys about it. Basically, we're trying to just create a pipeline of affordable housing for the county. We know that costs are going up there. We know that the supply is limited. And we know that the executive really cares about affordable housing. So all these things, we're trying to be good stewards of the funding and get it out the door and into the ground. So the first, before I go into the projects, I just wanted to highlight the ARP dollars. What the county intends to do with them is permanent supportive housing. So this will be a different way in which we can support the homeless populations. Permanent supportive housing is basically very low income housing for people who have been chronically homeless. We work directly with the continuum of care to place people in those units. So the county or a private developer is not the one making the determination. It's the actual service providers. And then once people are in that unit, that's where the supportive housing comes in. They have to partner with qualified nonprofits and actually fund the wraparound services that help support people who have been struggling with homelessness to live in an apartment, basically. So those are really exciting projects. They're meant to really get people off the street permanently. And that's a huge part of what we're trying to use the home ARP dollars for, although home is eligible in some ways too. So the first project that you guys are going to be seeing is known as Wesson Avenue Apartments. And I'm actually really glad that Commissioner Clemente is here because it is in your district.
I knew she was there for a reason. I knew she's there for a reason.
So good timing. That will be a permanent supportive housing project. It is led by Southwest Housing Solutions, also known as My Side. We're going to be putting about $1.4 million into it. The total cost is over 17 million. Additionally, putting into all of these projects, the city of Detroit's putting funding into them, and so is MISHDA. So the Michigan State Housing Development Authority. So Wayne County, we're desperately trying to get out of the process of being the one funder of projects. It's just not good policy. Okay. Those aren't strong projects. There is one exception to it that you'll hear about a little bit later, but it's a very small project. So the Wesson Apartments, it'll be 32 units of permanent supportive housing.
It's the Wesson?
Wesson, yeah.
Wesson. 31.
Yes,
okay.
it is.
This is where?
Not on this sheet. It's in Southwest Detroit.
Southwest Detroit.
Over on the border, close to the border of, I think this one's close to the Dearborn border.
Okay.
So it's also pretty close to Commissioner Bell's district. So yeah, it's really exciting, and it'll be the first time in quite a while the county's engaged in this type of work. And we've got a host of other projects coming along behind that. The next few that are really close to closing through underwriting, but it'll be several months, are the Presbyterian Villages of Michigan, the Villages of Westland project. So that's a really big senior housing development. They're basically redoing a bunch of senior units. Those will be coming through. We actually thought that was going to close in the winter, and it didn't. That's why we're in unfortunately, we're in a funding crunch. These are very complicated projects, obviously.
Sounds like
a lot of money going into them from a lot of sources.
Sounds like that as well.
So that's coming along. That's going to be in Commissioner Anderson's district.
Wesleyan, okay, yeah, that's Anderson, okay.
And then that one, so it's two different sides of the deal. That's going to be that's like 35 million or so, of which we're putting in 5.
Okay.
And I'm not sure actually. PVM does they do a lot of these. Yeah, I think they're largely self-performing, but Linwood Apartments is another one that's really getting very close. That one is in Okay, so Commissioner Kenlock, I would really love a map of your district. It is not on the, not on the,
Well, you got something coming to, okay,
it's right on the border between the two of you, and I
all right,
play the map.
all right.
The map is not granular enough for me to be able to tell. So,
Can I have you want, I'll send one that's very.
okay, great.
But
yeah, that-
wants to know if he can have one.
I want to.
Okay. So that one's right on the border of you. So it's
Okay.
gonna really help both of your residents. That's 40 units of permanent supportive housing. We're pretty excited about that one too.
Do you have anything coming to Dearborn?
Hold on, Dearborn is at the top of the list already.
They're
Yeah, you go.
their own home dollars.
Give you some more.
They're welcome to.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
Now let's bridge.
Oh,
So the Linwood one, what's the total investment? It's 40 or more.
oh, yep. So the county is looking at about a $2 million award. The total value there is over 18 million. And that would be 40 units of permanent supportive housing. Yes, as is Mishta.
great.
And then after that, the one other one that we think might close this year is Elm Tree and Ewald. That one, I believe, is in Peterson Mayberry's district, also very close to Kinloch's. And that we're putting, it's a pretty small project. We're putting in about 400,000 out of 4 million. If they qualify, they finally. And then, so this is a rolling process. So
Yeah, well,
these are the first ones. We're gonna try to reopen the RFP in the fall. As projects fall off or don't close in time,
right,
we're gonna say you have to reapply so that people in other areas of the county can also have a shot at it.
sure. So,
That's a total of 16. It's a pretty small project.
yeah, okay, Peterson, Mayberry, you good?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. I'll go with you in a second, Baker McCormick, but I just want to ask a quick question. Where do we hear the word surplus in county government? I mean, you said there's a surplus of monies, this our monies that we have to utilize. And I guess I'm wondering, and you just rattled off a bunch of a bunch of money, a bunch of projects that which I have no knowledge of, but it's great to have it here. So going back to a Baker McCormick, Commissioner, we need to obviously be privy and abreast to this type of information because this is great information. It helps us in our municipalities, and more importantly, it keeps us prepared because when we go engage with our communities, we like to know that this is actually going on because it's very great news. It's awesome. So, but getting back to my original inquiry, to have a surplus and have to try and spend it by an expiration date by contributing to these projects. Are folks informed? Are folks being educated? Is there some type of way that we're doing like a publicity enunciation, if you will, to the collective group of folks in Wayne County? Because I don't see how we can have a surplus. That's striking to me. So could you please expound upon that briefly?
Sure. So the home dollars, we have about $8 million.
Thank you.
The county gets around 3.5 a year. One of the most common things that we do with that funding is our down payment assistance program, which is a very popular program. It's very successful, but it's obviously a lot more granular. The home dollars are frankly, they're hard to spend. They're hard to spend. They're complicated to spend. There have historically been fewer of developers in Wayne County in recent years trying to do these projects. There's a lot in Detroit. Detroit spent 10 years beating the drum and bringing developers up and working with the state and creating that pipeline, which is why you see some of these first projects are actually Detroit projects. There have been projects in recent years that were anticipated to receive home funding and they didn't pass underwriting. The projects fell apart. I mean, if you think about COVID, you think about construction costs, you think about tariffs. You think about the fact that the federal government is pulling supportive housing services.
Yeah.
We're playing catch up a little bit. And then the home ARP dollars, those were also quite, like, again, before my time here,
Sure.
there were some projects that they were anticipated to go into that ultimately failed because they couldn't find their funding from other places.
Okay.
So this is not a typical thing. This is not the way that it's going to be.
Okay. I appreciate that. I see there's 1 or 2 more questions, so I know we're running short on time. So you answered my question. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Baker McCormick, Commissioner, please.
Thank you again, Mr. Chair. The expiration of the funds, did you tell us? Okay,
So of the approximately 8 million is being available to these projects, 1.4 needs to be spent by September 30th.
Wow. Okay.
Spent. Spent.
so that's
Okay.
September, like this September. Okay, so but we do have the projects in mind, so that's the good thing.
When Weston closes,
Okay,
they will have that much and more and
okay, into that, so
development.
we're
to
good
run-
with
to
that.
Send out immediately.
Okay, so then we have the additional 8 million after, well, less,
Yeah,
well, about,
it's rolling.
um, we will,
The next tranche is about like 1.5 million that expires in a year.
okay.
And
so-
then
But each year we get 8 million
no.
or
Each year we get about
3
3.5.
million. Okay, 3.5 million.
So the
Okay.
oldest money, there's 1.4 left.
And okay, and each year we get the 3 million, we have to spend it within,
You get 8 years.
8 years for each. Oh,
Hmm.
okay. And so when we talk about supportive housing and home funds, I just always think about supportive housing is keeping people in their homes, right? And so my question has always been, how do we help keep people in their homes? And can we use any of these funds to help with that? Rather than just look at rental, people that need to rent homes. How about homeowners that need home improvements, new furnaces so that they can stay in their homes? I don't know if we've looked at how we can dig more deeply into that. Even helping with property taxes. I don't know. I don't know. I think we just need to think outside the box about how, and I know these are federal funds, so it's kind of tricky sometime and there's parameters of how we can spend, but I don't know if we're looking at other ways.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
So the homeowner stuff, that more comes out of our CDBG home repair program that is also being overhauled. We're working really hard to get it up to date, but it's more of those like furnaces and roofs. But that comes from the CDBG program, and there is money set aside for home repair in the consolidated plan and has been in years past. The other thing, sorry?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. That's not Detroit. That's just the 34 communities, right? Okay. And okay, because Redford has their own fund, so that would be something. Yeah, so that's why I'm like, what kind of program could we create where we could, disperse funds throughout? And is this the program, the home ARP? Or is there some other
Yeah.
way we can do it? Just the
repair,
thought,
yeah.
we don't have, go ahead.
Yeah, home repair is much better served out of the CDBG program. The home program is extremely difficult to put into homeowners. There's a lot of like needles you have to thread. There is a keeping people in their homes aspect to the home program though, which is that not everyone will be a homeowner. But we have naturally occurring affordable housing, and we have affordable housing that is affordable because of federal dollars that went in decades ago. So part of our effort moving forward is also to do preservation of affordable housing, of rental housing. So some of these projects, one of the eligible uses is if you have a development that the federal requirements are coming off of it and it needs capital improvements, they can apply to our program for that capital improvement money. In exchange, they re-up the affordability requirements for the next 20 years. So it's the same units that are already existing, but it's keeping people in their homes and providing upgrades to those homes. So that's another aspect.
And just last thing, so I mean, I like the idea that we're supporting capital improvement to rental properties, right? So we can get renters in those. But to me, if we can sustain our homeowners, that is our tax base. So it just makes sense to me to how do we look at improving the conditions for people that are already, they are in their homes and they just need a little help.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's good.
Thank
good
you,
question,
Mr.
Joe.
Chair.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner. Appreciate it. Okay, obviously we're running short on time. Kenlock, did you have Commissioner, you have a final comment? Oh. Okay, you good? Okay, thank you, Commissioner Kenlock. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, you can finally be released from that seat. And your director over there need to give him a hammock because he can relax. When you got the mic, he can relax.
Yeah.
All righty. Good job. Thank you, Director. Good job. Thank you.
Right.
Okay, next item, please.
F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
I'm not aware of any. Next item,
G, public comments.
public comments. Madam Clerk, anybody on Zoom call?
There's no one on Zoom indicating that they would like to speak.
Anybody on the telephone? No?
There's no one on Zoom.
Okay. Okay, nobody anywhere else? Anybody in the audience? And take your time getting to the mic, please. Okay. No one in the audience. All right. All right, next order.
Adjournment.
Move to
Okay.
adjourn.
Move to adjourn is always in order. Support by Baydun, moved by Palomero. Thank you all very much. Appreciate your time and
Oh.
thank you. Thank you, Palomero.